Yeah, my name's Laura Mock. I'm Director of Customer Experience at an insurance company in Saskatchewan, Canada. My primary focus is working with business areas in our organization and helping them to understand their role in delivering value to stakeholders, and really at a broad strategic level, looking at applying those learnings and insights into work that we're doing for digital transformation. So I'm doing an Executive MBA. It is a full-time program, and I'm doing that through Queen's University, Smith School of Business at Queen's University. And so for me, I always knew that I wanted to do my MBA. For me, continued learning and development have always been a priority. And just looking at the work that we're doing with transformation and just the shifts in business and wanting to be able to continue to add value to my organization and be a thought leader as we transform and transform to meet the needs of customers and the changing markets, it was important for me to dive in and start looking at my MBA. I always knew that I wanted to do my MBA, and with business and the entire marketplace shifting to more of a digital environment, most organizations are focused on digital transformation, customer needs are changing, and really wanting to understand what that meant for business at a strategic level. So how do those changes impact your product development, the delivery of products and services to customers, legal implications, risk, all of those aspects? It was important for me to be able to understand how to apply those changes in a business setting. So when the pandemic hit, like everyone else, my work was moved to a virtual environment. And I wanted to, for me, I used that time to really drill in and focus on continued education. I had lots of extra downtime at home, and that's when I started to invest in little courses here or there. There are 1 month, 2 month courses. And when it looked like the pandemic was going to linger on, and that it was here to stay for a while, that's when I made the decision that it was probably the best time for me to actually take the plunge and to start my MBA. I knew that I wasn't going to be traveling much. I had already adapted to not having as much of a social life. So it gave me the opportunity to really think through what the implications were and to really understand how I would be able to manage the time commitments and requirements to be successful through an MBA program. So ultimately, that's what led me to move forward. Yeah, so for me, again, one of the driving factors behind getting my MBA was really understanding the shifts in business. And business, it was changing so fast. So as I started to do my research and evaluate the current, the various programs that were offered across Canada, that was definitely top of mind for me. If I was going to be investing the time and the money and the effort to complete the program, I wanted to make sure that I was going through an institution that was staying current with all of the trends. So as I started to do my research, one of the things that innovation is so much a part of the world today. And I remember coming across an article that said the top MBA programs for transforming organizations are those with innovation embedded within the program. And so through my research, trying to understand what that meant, I ended up coming across a handful of schools that met that criteria. The majority of those schools were located in Eastern Canada. And I'm, in Saskatchewan, we're right in the center of Canada. So for sure, for me to meet those, get what I wanted out of the program, I was going to have to travel to go to attend that program. So when evaluating the different programs that were available again, one of the things that I really liked about, well, I guess there are multiple things that I liked about Smith School of Business. The first thing that really stood out is that their program is designed and built to support a virtual environment. So they want to be able to meet the needs of and to involve people all across the country. One of the benefits of their program is that you really do get cross-functional representation from all provinces and industries across Canada, which again, in terms of elevating the learning, was a really big selling factor for me. I like the way that, again, the Smith School of Business isn't just responding to the pandemic, and they, looking at how they can translate their program to a virtual environment. They understand that business is changing, and in many industries, business is virtual. People are working with people in other regions, in other countries. There are time zone considerations, there are technology considerations. So the fact that the program was actually built on embedding that technology and those learnings into the program was a huge selling feature, because I see that there will be implications for me to be able to use that as I move forward in my career. In terms of how does the MBA fit into my lifestyle, for sure there were some considerations, and I had to shift my lifestyle. It's a busy program, and I, again, doing my research, knowing what I was signing up for, I was okay with that. The program, it's a significant investment in all aspects, financially, time-wise, time away from family, and so I want to come out of the program changed. And I don't think you come out of anything changed without putting in effort and stretching yourself and modifying your behaviors. So there was definitely a lot of planning in terms of being able to proactively be able to figure out when and how much time I would be able to allocate to my studies on a daily and weekly basis. Conversations with my work were absolutely critical. So getting their support and alignment around the value that this program will bring back into the organization was really important as well. Those ongoing dialogue with your organization, I can't emphasize the importance of that enough. Not just because there are times when I'm stretched thin. I maybe don't have as much capacity to, work after hours on the weekend if there was a big project. I have classes on Fridays, every second Friday, so I needed the flexibility to be off, though, every second Friday. But there's an element around having the support from the business so that I can take my learnings as I'm going through my program and bring them back into my organization. Getting the support around my capstone project has been absolutely, that in itself has been a huge learning, rounding up stakeholders across our organization. The scope of the project is fairly defined and the timelines are tight. So again, I work in a very large organization. So the ability to execute on projects quickly in a large organization is sometimes difficult. So to be able to align my stakeholders internally around the business need, how it aligns to the project, and being able to deliver on that has been really important as well. Working for a large organization, we have a corporate sponsorship policy. And that policy, the policy sets out guidelines and parameters for corporate sponsorship, which are fairly rigid. For me, pursuing my MBA, ideally, I wanted the sponsorship. The sponsorship was helpful, but I recognized I'm at a point in my career that regardless of whether or not the organization was going to sponsor me, I was going to pursue this. I'm big on not letting someone else determine my future and where I go and how far I go. So I definitely involved my organization in the initial conversations, but I had acknowledged the fact that if I was not successful with sponsorship, it is something that I did want to continue to pursue, and it was important to me. So I think the fact that I had started my program with that mindset and the drive that regardless of whether or not you sponsor me, I'm doing this and I'm going to be successful, I think helped to set the tone for my conversation with my employer. I've always been someone that's been fairly tenacious at work. And again, to bring that into conversations and really aligning people to be very intentional around my development and the support and where we're going has been important. The one thing, again, the policy was going to dictate whether or not I had the financial, support from my organization, but having a conversation with my boss and other senior leaders to say, hey, I'm willing to step up and personally fund this if required. However, I do need the flexibility in order to be able to take every second Friday off. I put together, my analysis around what the requirements would be, and I put together a plan that basically supported my ability to continue to complete my existing work while taking every second Friday off, and built a business case around the business value that the program would bring back into the organization. One of the other big things that I did negotiate and work out with my organization was in terms of having an ongoing mentorship relationship with a member of our executive as well. So I meet with my executive every single month to talk about my program and to talk about the challenges that I might be having in terms of learnings and bringing them back into the organization. And for me, that was a really important piece as well. Just, it is one thing to get sponsorship in terms of money and time, but I'm learning that the value to be sponsored in terms of that development and that mentorship to be able to bring the learnings back into the organization is probably even more valuable, because that's where I'm really having the opportunity to build up my competency and actually show and demonstrate how I can apply key learnings within our organization. Yeah, peer-to-peer learning is definitely, it's incredibly valuable. And again, one of the things that I really like about Smith School of Business approach to their MBA program is the fact that 50% of your projects are group and team-based, 50% is individual work. So you definitely, investing in that team relationship and having a high-performing, productive team is critical to your success through the program. I feel really fortunate. I'm on a team with 8 other individuals, and everyone brings something really unique to the table. We have engineers. Someone on my team, has a strong tech background. Someone else works for a sports organization. We have someone that works at a design organization. So really cross-functional. Everyone has their own strengths. And again, it's been nice to see us come together to be able to execute on projects. Early on in the program, you do meet as a team to set out what your overall mission is as a team, to establish team values and norms, and basically setting some ground rules for holding each other accountable. Through the course of your project work, we all take turns leading projects. The lead will put together a comprehensive project plan that outlines how each person will deliver and contribute to the execution of a project. And at the conclusion of each project, we do a debriefing session where we do provide honest and open feedback to each person on the team. So feedback to the leads around if there were gaps that could have helped you to, complete your work better or to better align to a united vision. It's been really, even that aspect actually has been really helpful in terms of improving my ability to function and to see how you can move a team to being more high functioning through project work. We came together quick. We had to be able to understand each person's competencies and strengths, and to be able to mobilize those skills quickly and effectively to deliver on projects has been absolutely critical. One of the things that I really like about Queen's program is that they do support you with coaches. There are lots of specialized coaches. I have an individual coach that I've been able to work with for my own development, but we also have a team coach that works with us as well. So she observes how we collaborate, our communication styles, the way we build out our projects and communicate those projects to the team, the way we track and follow up and debrief on the projects. So again, each individual has been, very valuable in terms of the skills they bring, but to be able to really improve my ability to to lead functional teams and to be a functional team member or collaborator within a team has been really valuable. It's hard to narrow down what I've found most surprising through this journey so far, because there are lots of things that have been surprising in a really, positive way. First off, I was surprised at the amount of support that Smith School of Business offers every single student. I genuinely feel like I have a whole team of academic and support individuals that are backing me, and that they're there to support my success through the program. So that's been really, positive. A lot of times entering the program, you might think that you're getting a sales pitch up front, and then once you're in, you're on your own. There's been so much support, and it's ongoing. There's regular check-ins, their commitment to helping us network and to learn from each other. Just the emotional check-ins to see how we're doing through the program and how our families are sustaining. It's been really, really positive. Other things as well is from a family perspective, I think entering into an MBA program, there are a lot of considerations around what does that mean personally for your commitments, but as well, what does that mean from a family setting? And so I have a daughter, and I think one of the things that's been really surprising for me is seeing how my commitment to education and continued development has influenced her. So we had a lot of conversations around how our life would change. But as I entered into the program, to see her step into more responsibility in terms of helping around the house, to see the way that it has changed her approach to school and how she's taking on her learning. She's more diligent in writing in her agenda and tracking her assignments. She's studying harder than I've ever seen, and she's passionate about what the future holds and what she's capable of. That's been really exciting. A third thing that I think has been that I wasn't expecting, that's been really positive, is just how empowered I feel as a professional, as a woman that's working my way up and trying to deliver value to the business, to be able to manage my job effectively, to have positive relationships within my team at work, to be able to complete the work required for my MBA program and to be successful in that aspect, as well to be able to effectively manage the commitments that come with having a family. It's been challenging, but to see that I can do it and to be successful, it feels very empowering, and it feels really encouraging and motivating as well.